Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Nectar of Devotion by Srila Prabhupada. We are on chapter 4. So those who are in the 4 liberated states may still be going through different stages of existence. So the 4 liberated states. The 5th one is never counted by the Vaishnavas. So the 4 ones, Sarupya, Salokya, Sashti, Samipya. In the beginning, they may want the opulence of Krishna, but at the mature stage, the dormant love for Krishna exhibited in Vrindavan becomes prominent in their hearts. As such, the pure devotees never accept the liberation of Sayujya to become one with the Supreme, though sometimes they may accept as favorable the other 4 liberated states. So a pure devotee never wants Sayujya. He does not want to merge into the Supreme because there is no opportunity to hear and chant. There's no opportunity to have this loving relationship with Krishna. So, but they may accept the other 4 liberated states because there's still a chance, no? Still, there's other devotees there. They can still progress. Out of many kinds of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who is attracted to the original form of the Lord Krishna in Vrindavan is considered to be the foremost first-class devotee. So Shyam Sundar, see, all Krishna is there, then Krishna has his expansions, Vasudev, Narayan, Vishnu, Lord Nishingadev, Lord Ramachandra. Now, all this is Krishna. But yet, Krishna has the original form, Shyam Sundar form. That is the origin of all his incarnations and expansions. Such a devotee is never attracted by the opulences of Vaikuntha or even of Dwarka, the royal city where Krishna ruled. The conclusion of Sri Rupa Goswami is that the devotees who are attracted by the pastimes of the Lord in Gokul or Vrindavan are the topmost devotees. So they're all devotees, they're very exalted personalities. Imagine being in the spiritual world in Mathura or in Dwarka. It's like, wow. But yet, there is always, which is better, like that. Not as a comparison, but just narrating, Vrindavan is the transcendental place where Krishna enjoys his eternal pastimes as a boy, and it is considered the topmost sphere in all existence. When this Vrindavan is exhibited in the material world, the place is called Gokul, and in the spiritual world, it is called Golok or Golok Vrindavan. So the Gokul here, what we see Gokul here, that is Golok in the spiritual world. But we'll say, where are the Chintamani? Where is the Kalpavriksha? Where are the Surabhis? But it's covered to our vision because our vision is material. We are not able to see it. Doesn't mean it's not there. A devotee who is attached to a particular form of the Lord does not wish to redirect his devotion to other forms. For example, Hanuman, the devotee of Lord Ramachandra, knew that there is no difference between Lord Ramachandra and Lord Narayan, and yet he still wanted to render service only unto Lord Ramachandra. So Hanumanji, he understands the position of Lord Ramachandra, but he has this relationship with Lord Ramachandra, and he's perfectly happy in that relationship. He does not have that hankering, I wish I was praying to someone else. No, he's perfectly satisfied. That is due to the specific attraction of a particular devotee. There are many, many forms of the Lord, but Krishna is still the original form. Eteja amsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Bhagavatam says that there are so many kalapumsa, there are so many incarnations of the Lord, expansions of the Lord. Yet the original form of the Lord is Krishna. though all of the devotees of the different forms of the Lord are in the same category, still it is said that those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are the topmost in the list of all devotees. So we cannot say, oh, you're a devotee of Lord Vishnu, so you are not good. Or you're a devotee of Lord Krishna, so you're very good. No, they're all devotees, they're all exalted personalities. And a devotee who has this relationship with Lord Vishnu, he's completely satisfied in that position. That is his original position, and he's completely satisfied to be in that position. Yet, the devotees of Lord Krishna are in the topmost list of all devotees. Are there any questions or comments?
There is this beautiful story about Tulsidas ji and Surdas ji. Like in this context, like as we said, that Ram and Krishna. So they both were walking, and then there came a mad elephant. That elephant was destroying everything on the path, and then Surdas ji is Krishna's devotee, and um, Surdas ji and what was the other one I said? Sorry.
Tulsidas, you said.
Tulsidas ji is Ramji's devotee. So Tulsidas ji stood there. He did not even move an inch. And he was standing there and not doing anything. And Surdas ji was, looking here and there for a place, and he ran for his protection. Then later they went, and the elephant did not harm anybody, and it went and everything. Then later they said that, why did you move? You didn't have faith on your God. I did not move because I had complete faith on my Ramchandra that he will protect me and nothing will happen to me. Then he said, I have faith, but I know that my Krishna is busy spending time with Radharani. So I don't want to disturb Krishna. I don't want to disturb my Lord. I will protect myself. It doesn't matter. So the context is that both are right in their way, and it's your bhav, like it's how we relate to Krishna. It's your bhav. So like in this context, because Ram and Krishna are there. So
yeah, the pure devotees of Krishna don't like to bother him. That's what the six Goswamis are teaching us, because they're saying that we are supposed to be servants of God, not God is our servant. So the six Goswamis, they're completely in that mood. Although Radha and Krishna were personally coming to serve them, as we see in the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, that Krishna and Radharani were personally coming. And Sanatan Goswami told them, hey, what's happening, Please make your bhajan kutir. Like that, you're making Radha and Krishna serve you instead of you serving them. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we'll read chapter 5, the purity of devotional service. All of the previous instructions imparted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his broad statements can be summarized thus. As long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. So, as long as we have a desire, material desire, or desire to get liberated, we cannot engage in pure devotional service. Next, Rupa Goswami states that devotional service is transcendental to all material conditions, and that it is not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstance. So nothing material can stop devotional service. You may say, I don't have this, I don't have that. Can chant, can remember Krishna. So nothing material can stop devotional service. Devotional service is on the spiritual platform. So it's a higher platform than the material platform. So nothing material can stop devotional service. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is transcendental and has no cause. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. It is open for all without any distinction, and it is the constitutional occupation of the living entities. So pure devotional service. The devotee does not want to gain anything by executing devotional service. He just does it without any hope for gain, not that I'll personally benefit. That's what the pure devotee is thinking. We may have many other things that we may think, but this is the pure devotee. It cannot be checked by any material circumstances. The pure devotee, no matter where they are, they continue in their devotional service. It is open for all without any distinction. It's not that devotional service is only for this one and not for that one. Anyone, everyone. And it is the constitutional occupation of the living entities. We are all living entities, and that is our original occupation. Constitutional occupation. Cannot change it. That's how we are. That's our nature, our dharma, to serve, to be engaged in service. In the Middle Ages, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya's great associate, Lord Nityananda, a class of priestly persons claimed to be the descendants of Nityananda, calling themselves the Goswami caste. They further claimed that the practice and spreading of devotional service belonged only to their particular class, which was known as Nityananda Vamsha. In this way, they exercised their artificial power for some time, until Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed the idea. So after Lord Chaitanya disappeared, the followers of Lord Nityananda, there were many followers, the descendants of Lord Nityananda, the followers of him. They started calling themselves that we are the Goswami caste, and it's only that we can only practice, and it's only that we can give Krishna consciousness to everyone. We are the Nityananda Vamsha, and nobody else can do it. So this is artificial. They were actually doing it for some time, until Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. He completely smashed the idea. He's a powerful acharya in our life. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully, and it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of men. Because they were saying, oh, that only we can engage in devotional service. We can only give devotional service to others. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur completely told them, no, that's wrong. Anyone can engage in devotional service. We are reading from Bhagavatam. This is like about 500 years ago, this thing was happening. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's setting things right. He set things right. And we can see in Bhagavatam, there's so many instances. Everyone can engage in devotional service. You could be a 5-year-old boy, could be born in the family of demons, anyone, everyone. There is no restriction. Besides that, anyone who's engaged in devotional service is already at the status of being a high-class Brahmin. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's struggle for this movement has come out successful. So he re-established the proper principle. It is on the basis of this position that anyone can now become a Gaudiya Vaishnava from any part of the world or any part of the universe. Anyone can become Krishna conscious. Anyone can join Krishna consciousness movement. Anyone who is a pure Vaishnava is situated transcendently, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. So Vaishnav is already a Brahman. A Vaishnav is higher than a Brahmana. A Brahman, his understanding of God is as Brahman. He's in the mode of goodness. But a Vaishnav, he is engaged in pure devotional service. He's on the transcendental platform. So transcendental platform is higher than the platform of mode of goodness. Our Krishna consciousness movement in the Western world is based on the above mentioned proposition of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all sections of the Western countries. So Prabhupada is saying that on the authority of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada is spreading the Krishna consciousness movement to the West. Because it's all based on the scriptures. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into a Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high-grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami or by the strength of the various scriptures. So there are some people who are born in the Brahmana families and they say, oh, until a person is not born in a Brahmana family, they cannot take up devotional service. They cannot become Brahmanas. But Prabhupada is pointing out here that all the Shastras say that all the Shastras say devotional service can be executed by everyone, anyone. It's not, and what this so-called Brahmana, that's why Prabhupada is saying so-called, because they're born in Brahmana families, but they're not understanding what is the true meaning of a Brahman. Who is actually qualified to become a Brahmana? What are the qualities of a Brahmana? That's why he's calling them so-called Brahmana. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man has the birthright to accept devotional service and to become Krishna conscious. Yeah. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man has the birthright to accept devotional service and to become Krishna conscious. So it is our birthright to engage in devotional service. Nobody can stop. Nobody. That is our real position. Each and every living entity, not that, oh, somebody is born in a particular land or a particular community or a particular body, only they can do it. No, anyone, everyone. And Rupa Goswami is using the word birthright. Yeah. He has given many evidences from many scriptures, and he has especially quoted one passage from Padma Puran, wherein the king Vashishta tells King Dilipa, my dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service, just as he has the right to take early bath in the month of Magh, December, January. So everyone has a right to take shower in the month of Magh, December, January. So Vashishta is saying everyone has a right to engage in devotional service. There is more evidence in the Skand Puran, in the Kashi Khanda portion, where it is said, in the country known as Mayuradhwaj, the lower caste people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in the Vaishnav cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with tilak on their bodies and beads in their hands and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. In fact, they look so very beautiful that immediately they surpass the ordinary Brahmanas. So the Skand Puran is saying that even the lower class people, those who are even out of the Vedic society, lower than Shudras, they can also take up devotional service and become Vaishnavas. They can also dress themselves as Vaishnavas, wear the Vaishnav clothes, wear the Vaishnav beads, tilak, and they will look that they're coming from Vaikuntha. So devotional service, anyone, everyone can engage in. There's no restriction on anyone to engage in devotional service. Thus, a Vaishnava automatically becomes a Brahmana. This idea is also supported by Sanatan Goswami in his book, Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is the Vaishnava guide. So Sanatan Goswami, the brother of Rupa Goswami, he wrote a book called Hari Bhakti Vilas. It's a guide for the Vaishnavas. And Sanatan Goswami is saying in his book also that Vaishnava is automatically a Brahman. One who's Vaishnava is already a Brahman. Like, for example, one who has studied up to 10th grade, he has already studied the first grade, second grade, third grade, isn't it? It's all included. That's how he's reached up to the 10th grade. He's already studied it. Srila Rupa Goswami warns, however, that if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by the acceptance of such initiation, his business is then finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully. So it's not that initiation is the end. Oh, okay, I accepted a spiritual master, now finish. Now I don't have to do anything. No, initiation is the beginning. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that one has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully. If after accepting the spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, then he is again fallen. So one must be very vigilant to remember that he's part and parcel of the transcendental body of Krishna, and that it is his duty as part and parcel to give service to the whole of Krishna. We are all parts and parcels of Krishna. That is our real position. Material position is, why should I be part and parcel of Krishna? I am independent. That is material consciousness. And our pure consciousness is, I'm part and parcel of Krishna, and it is my duty to render service to Krishna. If we do not render service to Krishna, then again we fall down. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of a high-class Brahmana. One also has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principles very rigidly. So it's not that just by taking initiation one is, becomes a Brahmana. One has to do the duties. One has to show. One has to show it. Srila Rupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, the Vaishnava need have nothing to do with the prayaschit, the ritualistic ceremony for purification. If someone falls down from the principles of devotional service, he need not take to the prayaschit performances for reformation. So prayaschit, there's in the scriptures, there's so many different types of atonements. Oh, you do this sin, then you do this atonement. You do this sin and you do this atonement. So there is, Sukadev Goswami is telling to Maharaj Parikshit, there is this question and answer where Parikshit Maharaj is saying to Sukadev Goswami, oh, these people who are going to hell, how can we save them? So Sukadev Goswami is saying, well, they can atone for their sins. Prayaschit, do something, like for example, somebody does something bad, then they give charity, or you do something bad, then you go feed the poor or something, like that prayaschit. But then so Parikshit Maharaj says, so because he's very intelligent, Parikshit Maharaj, he says, okay, you're telling me this. How is it going to stop somebody from sinning? Okay, he's done the prayaschit, but then again he's coming back and sinning. So that's not really a solution then. Then Sukadev Goswami tells him that devotional service is the solution. Why? Because it takes away the desire to sin. So now, what about somebody who's engaged in devotional service and then he falls down? Does he have to do the prayaschit? No. He just continues, just again engages in devotional service. He simply has to execute the rules and regulations for discharging devotional service. And this is sufficient for his reinstatement. This is the mystery of the Vaishnava devotional cult. So devotional service, it's purifying in itself. It's not that we need to do something to become pure, to engage in devotional service. No. Just begin devotional service. Just begin hearing, chanting, remembering. You don't have to get a particular qualification to do that. No. Wherever we are, whoever we are, just begin hearing and chanting. Practically, there are three processes for elevating one to the platform of spiritual consciousness. These processes are called karma, jnana, and bhakti. Ritualistic performances are in the field of karma. So three processes: karma, jnana, and bhakti. Karma is doing the ritualistic performances are those karma kand. That, okay, let me do this pious activities, get some pious results. Speculative processes are in the field of jnana. So that is like, let me speculate with the knowledge. What is knowledge? What is the truth? And one who has taken to bhakti, the devotional service of the Lord, need have nothing to do with karma or jnana. It has been already explained that pure devotional service is without any tinge of karma or jnana. Bhakti should have no tinge of philosophical speculation or ritualistic performances. So we may say, but I have so many of these desires. I have desire for liberation. I have desire for material sense gratification. What do I do? We follow what Bhagavatam says. No matter we have full of material desires, we have no material desires, or we desire liberation, we engage in devotional service. Just engage in devotional service, hearing and chanting. Gradually, all the desires will be purified. Did anyone want to add anything or question?
So what they're trying to say here is that when you are bhakta, and if you fall down, a pure devotee, not a um, not a practicing or any, but a pure devotee, and if he falls down, then he can just again strictly start following the rules again. He doesn't need to do any prashchit like a common man, right? This is what they're trying to say.
Well,
And
anyone who is engaged in devotional service
okay.
and who stops engaging, he does not need to do prashchit. He just begins again engaging in devotional service.
So the hearing and chanting, right? If some people have stopped hearing and chanting for some time, it doesn't matter. The falling down means that only, right? When they
Or following
stop
the rule, or following the regulative principles.
the four regulative principles.
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone falls down from the principles of devotional service, he does not need to take to prayaschat performance for reformation. He simply has to execute the rules and regulations for discharging devotional service. So if someone has stopped doing it, he does not need to do anything else. He does not need to go do some dan punya or some charity or something. No, he simply again starts following the principles of devotional service.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for listening and joining.